friend asked me just the other day what I've learned from my 50 lunches so far, and I realized I haven't actually stopped to reflect. So let's do that. I've had 6 lunches so far, which means I got about 44 to go. It's still the early days, but I'm definitely getting somewhere. If you're new here, the idea behind 50 lunches is pretty simple. I'm meeting people I find interesting. Founders, friends, coaches, community builders, and having long, real conversations about work, purpose, and how they're navigating their lives. Half the conversation is about them, and the other half turns the mirror back on me. And to keep me honest, after each lunch, I capture my notes in a Notion database. I capture themes, quotes, observations, and ideas. So this is less about finding the answer and more about listening carefully to what keeps showing up. So far, I've had 4 lunches in person and 2 online. I've already published 4 episodes on YouTube. If you want to see the full conversations, I'll put the link in the comments. My first lunch was with Rish. Big picture thinking, tech forward. But what surprised me was how grounded the conversation became. Not about scale or hype, but about how you want to live while building things.
If something is fun for you and it's play for you and it seems like work to other people, then that's what you should do.
Then I spoke with Janelle, and that conversation felt very different. Almost like a therapy session, but in the best way possible. Less about ideas, more about truth. She kept bringing me back to what I feel in my body versus what I can explain convincingly with words.
If you were to need to take one out of each, and you would choose this from like a full heart, like where your body goes like, ah.
I didn't record the next conversation with Sarah, which ended up feeling more like a coffee with a friend, discussing big ideas and what's important in life. Sarah reminded me that we're all human and long for a connection, and that we tend to overcomplicate things. And yeah, that's probably me. I also spoke with Jakob, who is going through his own transformation. After burning out, he's now very focused on building something slower, deeper, and more human. Not chasing growth for the sake of growth.
To my business concept that I'm practicing mindfulness. And in mindfulness, I'm clarified what is exactly important for me and what's not.
And then there were 2 online lunches with Johan and with Matteo. They both know me very well, so those conversations naturally focused more on me, my work patterns, blind spots, and how I show up when things get real.
You have this thing of inspiration and going crazy, and then needing to recharge your batteries and go in the van and go in the mountains.
I mean, the coaching part has been there as a very kind of natural part of pretty much everything that you've done.
Now, it's still early. 6 conversations is not enough to claim that there are any obvious patterns, but there are still a few things that are starting to become clear. Pattern number 1, I no longer identify as an entrepreneur. This one surprised me a bit. I've spent years calling myself an entrepreneur, a founder, and I might still start things, but I don't really identify with that label anymore.
Maybe it was cool to be, say, an entrepreneur, and then you go that path and you forget who you truly are and what your true abilities are.
I'm not interested in building a unicorn. I'm not chasing scale for the sake of scale. What matters much more to me now is contribution. Being part of something meaningful. Helping people move, shift, or see more clearly. And that leads directly to the second pattern. Pattern number 2, the teacher identity keeps coming back across multiple conversations. Something kept getting reflected back to me. Teaching, facilitating, advising, helping people make sense of complexity. Both Johan and Matteo pointed out that I had actually missed facilitation and consulting when mapping out my ikigai, which is kind of funny because it's something I've done my entire career. They both suggested there could be something powerful in working with leadership teams.
Which is why I think you'd be a perfect kind of one-stop shop for senior advisory.
Not just as a coach, but as a senior advisor. Someone who helps teams slow down, think clearly, and align around what actually matters. Okay, so I'm going to be adding this to my ikigai. Pattern number 3. But the biggest aha moment so far came from Janelle and later reinforced by Rish and Jakob. What if the answer is already right in front of me? What if the thing I'm looking for is the thing I'm already doing? What if 50 lunches itself is not just a project, but the seed of something bigger? Helping others the same way I'm helping myself. Creating spaces for reflection, maybe writing a book, maybe creating a community, maybe facilitating one-on-ones or group work. I don't know exactly what shape it will take yet, and that's okay, but I do know this: the idea excites me. And something tells me that excitement is a much better indicator than analyzing my way to the right answer. So where does that leave me? I don't have a final answer, but I have better questions. And more importantly, I'm starting to feel alignment, not just intellectually, but in my body. This project is doing what I hoped it would do. Not to give me clarity overnight, but to create movement in that right direction. If you've been following along, thank you. And if you know somebody I should meet for a future lunch, please let me know in the comments or in a DM. Because the patterns won't come from one conversation alone. They're going to come from 50. Lunch number 7 is coming soon. And thanks again for listening.